We're going to have a culinary adventure tonight, and it's also an adventure in creating or co-creating culture. You know, I've been on this quest for a couple of years, and it's really captured my heart and imagination, and I'll try to describe some of that to people, but it's not just food, it's creating a culture. Now here's the cocoa itself. Hi. How are you?
Good, Rachel.
Mark,
Nice
glad
to
to meet
meet
you. It's very close to the original. It's 100% cacao. Nothing's been added and nothing has been removed except for the shells. We've so denatured it that it is now just a candy. It's not a food anymore as it was for the Aztecs and the Mayans. And it doesn't flow anymore the way it did for 3,900 out of 4,000 years that it's been around. Thomas Jefferson used to drink it. And Thomas Jefferson wrote to John Adams. He said, you know, chocolate, by which he meant drinking chocolate, is so nutritious and so delicious that I'm sure it will soon supplant coffee and tea as the premier drink of all Americans. So I thought about that with some amusement, and I thought, well, here comes the patriot. I'm going to reinstitute what Thomas Jefferson promised would happen. It's only been a few hundred years.
Actually, it would add something very interesting to a spaghetti sauce, wouldn't it? And
Yes,
then
it goes very well with tomato.
Meatballs.
Yes.
Chocolate meatballs.
The thing is to use little enough that you're not creating a chocolate flavor. No, you're bringing the chocolate in underneath.
What are you trying to do here? Create a new product?
Yes, actually a whole range of products. We don't normally play with our food this much, and not communally either, if you know what I mean. I mean, this is the chance to be together and say, hey, I've just tried this. And what I'd like to do is to see it go around the world and in different cultures be adapted to their specific cuisines and their specific cultures and the rituals that they want to create around it. This is the playground where you start to play with your food. Play with the drink, steer it in different directions.
So you just pick one?
Yeah, just any one you like. Yeah, you could use a shaving brush. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, that smells really good.
Chocolate itself, it's like 600 chemical compounds in it. And they all provide a complexity. They offer a complexity that we're not used to. Bitterness is not just bitter. Bitter is interesting.
Wow. Yeah. If you haven't tried it, it's really good. Totally changes the flavor.
Each ingredient brought out the flavor of the next one, and now it's a completely different product.
Every single blend
I'd rather be flawed.
was its own country.
I feel like we're at the birth of something really magnanimous, and it feels really exciting, especially being here, kind of one of the birthplaces of the food movement of the gourmet ghetto. We're in the back cottage, being, experimenting with all these wonderful essences and chocolates. So I feel really excited to have been there.
It's something that is so new. There's nowhere on the planet where this exists. That's extraordinary. There is nowhere on the planet where this exists. Out of all the chocolate that exists everywhere, there's nothing like this. This is really a new product.
I don't really want this to be just a commodity because, frankly, it will be so easy for people to counterfeit it. I mean, I was warned from day one. If you want to hear an interesting conversation, I was in Brazil, in Bahia, and I was being hosted by a man who one morning to me at breakfast said, you know, I think you've got a great idea here. I think it can succeed, but I have to warn you, you're getting into a very tough territory here. He said, this chocolate business is dominated by about 3 enormous companies, Nestle, Mars, and Hershey's, and they don't like competition.
This product is you. What you've got is something that is unique, and it's really about the way you present this vision of this product, and what you're selling really is this vision. It truly was great. So I think that's what you need to pump up, is this idea that this is about your connection to this, a very real connection.
In some ways, I don't fit the profile of a modern businessman. I've lived a very different life. I'm more a man of story and adventure. A long time ago, right after college, I jumped off the regular track and went to the wilderness. And I'm talking about deep wilderness. So coming back into the world and launching a venture like this is one of the bigger adventures of my life because it stretches so much in me. This is like putting lightning in a box or magic inside a bag, packaging love. And my sense is that while you can replicate this on one level, without story, without the story that connects us with one another, it's a little hollow. It's just another thing on a shelf. I'm eager like a child to find out what's around that next corner. I seem to be getting younger. I don't know why. For the past year, I've been looking far and wide in this country and even abroad for some bean-to-bar chocolate makers who'd be ready to make Coco Rustica, 100% cacao and nothing removed. But here, right in front of me, I've found two remarkable young men, Adam and Dustin, who are working in a cafe inside a lumber yard, and they've begun to make Coco Rustica. So I'm on my way now to Almquist Lumber to see them make the second batch of Coco Rustica.
Originally, chocolate was always drunk, and so now I think him trying to revive that, I think is really cool, and I think it's something that, you know, hasn't been done in a long time, and I think the modern chocolate industry has never thought about, well, how will we optimize our chocolate making process for a very, like, you could call it antiquated form of chocolate, but yet now hopefully it's going to become new again.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Basically, I'm just cracking them into little pieces.
And the nib is heavier than the lighter husk. And so for the same particle size, the nib will fall out before the husk does. We're trying to capture the subtle terroir differences of the beans from different regions around the world, much like a winemaker would try to capture the subtle flavor nuances of a grape from a particular region.
Cocoa nibs are starting to get pulverized together and starting to become really smooth. Before they get smooth, they become like a peanut butter, and they want to jump out of this melanger, so I really have to keep an eye on things or else.
I have been serving Coco Rustica for many months now, and we have been experiencing the first window of kind of public consumption of the Coco Rustica. And it has been a brilliant, brilliant thing. You should see what happens. I mean, all different people from all different walks of life come in and do, oh my God, oh my God. Honey, taste this. You're not going to believe it. It's incredible. Oh, no, give it back. And so all of a sudden, they both have to have a cup. And there's this other couple over here, and they're boring. You know, they don't know what to say to each other. And they go, what do those people have?
This chocolate is good for you. And the bitterness that it begins with is not a whole lot different from what we encounter at various points in our lives, and yet can modify to something absolutely wonderful. That's been the trajectory of my own life. I just drank a cup of Coco Rustica just now, and it's evening, and I'm able to see the light on the grasses as they're waving with such a sense of just pure, simple delight. I don't think if someone gave me $10,000 right now, it would equal the delight I have in seeing that light on those grasses at this moment.
I think there has to almost be a naivete, like you can't maybe be Mr. Commerce and pull it off.
People have said this is a fast-paced society. How are people going to pause to take the time to drink cocoa the way you want them to drink it? People actually are aching to be given the chance to slow down. You pause for a minute in real time. In fact, it is the real time in your life, instead of time when you're racing to be somewhere else. At its simplest level, this is opening up the present moment. This is opening up the present moment for us all to notice.
To go out and be with people you don't know personally, not on the internet, not, not through some gap of your cell phone or Skyping, but to actually physically be there. This may be a tool to help us do that again.
That's what I feel. This is a cup I'm passing on to others. My cup is running over. My cup runneth over. Why don't you sip some for a while?